You're saying only the smart should have the right to self-defense. I'm saying only supremely dumb people should not be able to have access to something that makes it easy for them to hurt themselves or other people. Yeah, I'm not saying that you have to have an IQ test. I'm saying that you have to do the basic thing that you'd have to qualify in the military. That's not a hidden dig at the military. It's just that if you don't have the ability to pass basic training, at least as far as just being able to operate a gun, they don't let you have one. Okay? Now let's ground ourselves until we, throw some sparks and maybe blow a fuse here. If you do not know what you're doing with a firearm, I don't want you to have one. That's not a bad thing. Only the coordinated, only those with access to a metal shop. You can be either. I'm not saying that you can't have a semi-auto, easy aim gun with a compensator and all the other things that make it a lot easier to fire. I'm saying in the video that I don't like it that stupid people get to make any decisions about gun laws, and I don't like them having guns. I do believe we should all be able to agree that politicians who do not understand the difference between a clip and a magazine should be excluded perpetually from ever talking about guns. If necessary, using a bark collar, I will design the power supply. I'll make it last a long time. I don't like liberals or conservatives who are bombastically stupid talking about something that has any technical characteristics to it. A doctor doesn't need to know how to fix a garbage disposal. No. But if a doctor works on you, he has to know what he's doing, and he can't be a fake doctor like we allow for some reason when people talk about supplements. The guy at the head shop isn't going to tell you how to cure cancer because he doesn't know what he's talking about. No. Marijuana does not cure cancer. Hemp oil does not cure cancer. It doesn't matter if you're triggered. I don't want to deal with obnoxious, stupid hippies any more than I want to deal with obnoxious, stupid conservatards or libtards. I don't want to deal with Antifa, and I don't want to deal with Pinochet fans. I think that's how you pronounce his name. As for only those with access to a metal shop, no, I just want people to know how to do that. I think in school, in metal shop, you should be taught that you have to know how a gun is put together and how to make the parts. Call me a radical, call me a rebel, but I think everybody in the United States should know, if they really need to, how to make a weapon. I don't keep a cache of guns, and I'm not going to contribute to the gun lobby getting a little payola over here from all the gun sales companies and bullets. You do know that whenever they scare you into buying more ammo, they get a kickback. Does anybody get their head out of their ass ever? Maybe it's a donkey. We get a lot further when we focus on specialization, don't we? Yes, people who are very good with guns should be the only ones that own them. Specialization. Your argument's invalid. But mine is as well. Yeah, if you don't know how a gun works but you need to protect yourself, now you shouldn't be restricted from having them, I guess, fine. But we should make it mandatory requirement that people have gun education. And we should also have sex education, because both of these things have major consequences and only take a couple of minutes of stupidity to cause a problem for you and everybody around you. Now, how many cliches about condoms can we have down below about guns then? Just change out condom for gun. Safety off. Let's do these jokes. Does waptek endorse registration and confiscation of semi-automatic firearms? This is more than one question you fuse together because you want, do you like beating your wife? Does waptek endorse registration of guns? No. I don't care. Doesn't affect me. Police officer, about a year ago. You don't have valid identification. The identification you're holding your hand while you're about to interrupt me, and you know you're going to hear this, can still be used to find out whether or not I am who I say I am. It is just, it's expired. I'm not buying alcohol, going into a stag movie, or anything else that requires I prove how old I am. It shows my identity, and it's invalid now. Yeah. So I don't exist? That's what I'm saying. No, what you're saying is you have a technicality you can whine about. You can run the information, and the information still comes up. A expired license, or in this case a passport, can still return the information to confirm who the person is, because you can get the information back out of it. It's just that if it's dead at 10 years, because I hadn't registered, myself, my papers weren't any good, that doesn't change who I am. And the police officer was basically just, he was bored. His instructor was bored too and knew what was going to happen. And he looks at the, this is a full cop, he's not just, learning in cop class. He looks at him and I said, are you going to tell him that he should just run the information and see what happens? And he says, is this one safe? And I'm like, yeah, or you can run the passport. That one doesn't do anything weird when you look it up. And it sure won't set off any bells or anything. Now the guy's worried. He comes back and he's like, you are who you say you are. I'm like, yeah. You're used to people who drink, people who drive, sometimes at the same time, and they have to provide license and registration. I don't have to do a damn thing like that, because you don't have probable cause to demand any of that. In the United States, you can refuse to provide this information. They can do whatever they want to with you, but you can refuse to provide information unless there's a compelling reason otherwise. And I also said, now remember, I'm a vlogger. That means that you're going to be recorded and there's nothing you can do about it. And don't tell me I can't record. And also don't tell me you can't lie. I know you can. The government and the legal system have decided that you're permitted to lie to people to get a reaction out of them. Which means the two-edged sword of lying is, I'm not required to believe anything you say is a lawful command. I can assume all of them are unlawful now. You see, you can't have it both ways. You want to, but you can't. And if you try to, if there's a punishment down the road or whatever, blah, blah, blah. We had a nice little conversation about it. And he just said, why did you ask me to card him? And he said, did you learn anything yet? And I said, don't say you weren't paying attention. Don't ever say that in court. You were paying attention the entire time. You deny it with every breath in your body. Yes, sir. But anyway, do I endorse registration? I don't endorse registrations. I think for most lawful owners of cars, they should be required to register themselves and have identity and identity paperwork. So there's accountability. Guns are a little bit easier to steal, so I'm not sure that gun registration is going to work. I don't know. Look for areas where gun registration is mandatory and see if it's worked in any way. What is the effect? Be honest about it. Confiscation? No, I don't think anybody should have their guns confiscated. I think the government should have to buy them back, just like what happened in Australia. No, you get all your money back, and then you learn how to make muzzle loaders, or just make your own dang guns. Semi-automatic firearms. Semi-automatic weapon versus firearm. You need to read the legal definition that these idiots have generated. Seriously, go laugh at the laws, please. It's hilarious. Well, we're going to fine-tune this word. Yeah, really precise. Confiscation of semi-automatic weapons. You really think that if the government was going to confiscate all the weapons because they're afraid of you for some reason, that they wouldn't confiscate every single bolt-action rifle, Kennedy assassination-style weapon you've got? I'll make this the title because it's funny. Now I'm going to read a poetic piece here, it sounds like. Haven't read it all the way through. There is no peace. It's elusive. You have to make peace by killing the daylights out of everyone else. You see, if America did not go after what is needed to run the country, we would not be America. Catch 22. Caliber, no, 22. But when that happens, the greed comes out. JFK, not perfect, but ahead of his time. And it messed up somebody else's scheduling. I believe, honestly, JFK probably took a few acid trips. You think? And no, just inhaled deeply. He was a Second World War veteran, distinguished at that, so we knew that war is in his position. You know, a lot. He had a lot of balls riding through Dallas with all those open windows. 3 people died that day. Research Disney regarding the Zapruder film. The other 2 people that died on November 22nd, 1963, along with JFK, he knew both of them. Now I gotta go look this up and see where it comes from. It's amazing how many dots get connected from 1963 to today, and the beat goes on. I'm gonna do one counterpoint. Number 1, I'll look that up. Are you gonna say Zapruder film was faked? I'm sorry, I'm just kind of silly on this. I think I know what you're referencing here, though. But anyway, the next, people connect dots from the past to the forward, just like the movie Connections or TV show Connections. Those connections aren't intentional. They are a natural progression of things. These aren't the red yarn on the wall you were looking for. I got to do it right. Thanks for the commentary, and I'll go look this up because, again, every time anybody posts a comment, no matter how weird it is or encoded, I will not catch a 22. I know what I know what you're talking about. It gives me something to look up, so this is good. But confiscation of weapons, there are occurrences in history, but most people who talk about it refuse to look up the number of times it's happened because there's specific conditions involved, and they you know, the facts just get in the way of the memes. Semi-automatic firearm. Just call it semi-automatic weapon. Just call them assault weapons. Don't say assault rifle. That actually has a real definition. Registration. But yeah, I only think smart people should be able to defend themselves because stupid people end up shooting the wrong person. And as for gun control, my joke about it is, make sure it doesn't fly out of your hand. Anyway, I have an opinion, and I'm going to state it. Doesn't make sense internally or externally for most of you watching, because I'm torn, like everybody else. But thank you all for watching. Have a good day, good luck with that, and thank you for your commentary. I will look this up and see if it's worth making a vid out of.